Hello everyone and welcome to this demonstration of Send the Alert, the Lone Worker Protection System. So I've got up the Send the Alert homepage here. Now when you're ready to get started with the app, all you would need to do is go into sign up and fill out this fairly simple form. We don't need an awful lot of information to get an account set up. I've already done that, so I'm actually going to go to sign in and I'm going to put my dummy information in, my dummy account which I've already set up. I'll just log in. There we go. So this brings us to our dashboard. So this is where we would get the list of all the lone worker sessions that are active at any one time. This is a fresh account, so as you can see, there are no sessions currently active. And we can't start a new session just yet because we need to actually set up the account. So our account needs three things. We need the users, the individuals who are going to be lone working, where they're going to be working, and some rules on who gets alerted should our lone worker fail to check in. So that's what I'm going to show you now, how to set all that up. So first off, we're going to go to users and we're going to add our user. So we'll go here. Just a simple form just to get our users in the system. So first of all, we can say this person will be a lone working or responding to alerts. The default is both of them, but you can untick one or the other if you prefer. Let's put some details in. So I'm going to put in Fred blogs. I'm going to give. He's got a dummy email address of fred.blogs@gmail.com. Let's also give him a fake phone number, so 1234556. I can put a fake alternative phone number in, so I would put a landline number in. And we can set up a PIN for this user. Now the PIN is used to authenticate the user should he ring up the system and check in by phone. The system will ask him to enter his PIN so it knows that he is actually him. The system has generated a random PIN for us. I'm just going to change it to 1234. I also need to say that I've got the permission to add their details to send the alert. That's very important, especially if their email address or their mobile number is their own personal details. When I click add user, what's going to happen is a verification email is going to be sent to fred.blogs@gmail.com and also a text message to this dummy mobile number to validate those details and to make sure that they are actually belong to that person. A code will be sent, and all they'd have to do is, in the case of an email, click a reply button on the email itself, just a simple link. On the text, they would just simply reply with the code that's within the body of the text message. I'm going to hit add user, and that's step one done. Now we can add our locations. So these are the sites where our lone workers will be working. So at the minute we've got no location set up. I'm going to add a new location. I'm going to give it a site name of the building site, and I'm going to give it a site reference number. The purpose of the reference number is, again, if you rang into the system, you need to be able to identify the site numerically by punching it into your keypad. So that's where the reference number comes in. We can also put a bit more information on if we want to, like the location, address, and a local contact, but none of that is mandatory, so I'm going to hit add location, and there we are. Building site is set up. And next we need to set up our alert flows. So the flow dictates who gets alerted should our lone worker fail to check in. We have a flow set up. It's just called default. You can add another flow if you want, and with the flow we have steps. So this one needs a step, so I'm going to hit add step. We're going to select which user is going to get alerted, so I'm going to say John Smith, and I want him to get a phone call. If I untick this, we can actually select which days of the week and the times of when that person will be alerted. But for the time being, I'm just going to untick that, and I'm happy for alert me at all times. So I'm going to hit create. So there we are. That's our alert flow set up, and now we are ready to set up our first lone working session. And to do so, it's very, very simple. We just go to start a new session. We select the person who's going to be working, so I'm going to say Fred Blogs is going to be working. He's going to be working at the building site. He's going to start now, 10:57. That's the time as I record this. And we can check the check-in period in minutes. So 60 is the default, but that can go as low as 15. So that means that the user will need to check in within 60 minutes or within 15 minutes or whatever time you choose. Next, we can choose how this person is going to be reminded to check in. So if we choose by text, that means he's going to get a text around 10 minutes before that 60 minutes is due to elapse with a code saying please respond, and with that code to check in. I'm also going to check phone call, which means around 4 minutes before that 60 minutes is up, he's going to get a phone call from Send the Alert that will say, hello, please check into your lone worker session. It'll give him a code, and then he'd enter the code back into the phone keypad, and that would check him in as well. So it only takes a few moments to do. We can put in some notes if we want. For example, if he's doing something particularly hazard, we might want to put a note in the comments. We'd also select our alert flow. So we've only got one set up, so it's just set as default, but you might have different alert flows dependent on location, or maybe a weekend alert flow, whatever you like. I can choose to send a text message so he knows that a worker session has been started. I'm going to leave that unticked. I'm just going to click Start New Session. And that's it. We now have our session started. So Fred Blocks, who is working at the building site, has started, now, and is due to check in within the next hour. So alert will be raised should he not respond before the time here, 11:57. And that's it. That's a quick demonstration of how to get your account started and how to start your first lone worker session. If you have any questions, please do get in touch. But for now, thank you very much and goodbye.